After winning $1 billion in the lottery, all I wanted to do was lie flat. But my girlfriend, Sun Yaru, kept pushing me to start a business every single day.
Feng Yuan, lying around like this, how are you any different from a lazy bum? I don't want my boyfriend to be an unmotivated loser. We could be working hard together. If you keep this up, let's just break up.
After being with Sun Yaru for 5 years, for the first time, I felt exhausted. I treated her well and spent plenty of money on her. I thought that once we had money, our lives would finally settle down. I never expected it would just lead to endless arguments. No matter how deep the love is, it can't survive being worn down every single day. Just as I was figuring out how to break up on good terms, a row of bullet comments suddenly floated across my vision. Our female lead is so smart. The lottery winnings belong entirely to the male supporting character. But starting a business is different. She can get shares too. Once the company grows, she'll kick the male supporting character out and have it all to herself. The male supporting character loves the female lead so much. If she just tries playing hard to get, he'll obediently hand over all his money. The male supporting character should just accept his fate as a tool. I froze on the spot. What kind of mind-blowing female-centric plot was this? Would I have to be out of my mind or kicked by a donkey to actually do something like that? Suddenly, my phone rang. I glanced at the screen. It was Sun Yaru. The moment I answered, her impatient voice blasted through the speaker.
Feng Yuan, what are you doing right now?
Just lying around at home. She exploded like a lit powder keg, her voice instantly shooting up.
How much longer are you going to just lie around? Can't you have a little ambition and go find something to do? Just look at yourself right now.
I looked down at myself, then glanced around the room. Inside my 500 square meter villa, the TV was on, and my game was running. Auntie Wang had already prepared lunch, and I could eat whenever I wanted. I had a personal trainer booked for the afternoon, and plans to go to KTV with friends tonight. My day was actually pretty packed. What's wrong with how I am? Who did I even offend? But I kept that to myself and just asked her, "Then what do you want me to be like?" Sun Yaru spoke, her voice full of frustration.
Other guys are all focused on their careers. My bestie's boyfriend sets up a stall at the night market after work. He makes $500 a night, and he's planning to save up for his own storefront. Look at him. He's so ambitious. Then look at you, doing nothing but lying at home all day.
I almost choked on the Sprite in my mouth. Did she mean I should ignore my $1 billion and go set up a night market stall in the freezing winter just to make $500? If I just put 1/10 of my money in the bank, the overnight interest alone would be way more than that. Am I crazy? I knew her temper and couldn't be bothered to argue, so I just played along. Fine, I'll sign up for Chilama delivery later and go deliver food this afternoon. Hearing this, Sun Yaru got even angrier.
Is that all the ambition you have? Whenever I ask you, it's either delivering food or working as a security guard. You graduated from a top university, for crying out loud. Is your vision really that narrow?
What else? People work to make money. But right now, the one thing I'm definitely not short on is money. On the other end of the line, Sun Yaru's voice turned completely cold.
Feng Yuan, I am truly disappointed in you. If you're going to be like this, then let's just break up.
The moment she said that, she hung up. I dialed back, only to find I'd already been blocked. Same old trick. Blocking all my contact info the second we disagree. I froze for a few seconds, not even noticing my in-game character almost got killed by a monster. The next second, I slapped myself. Damn it. How could I let something like this mess up my game? Just then, a text popped up on my phone. It was a transaction alert. Hailan Home, a charge of nearly 3,000 yuan. That was the card I gave Sun Yaru, with a 500,000 yuan limit. I basically never limited her spending. She could buy whatever she wanted. Wow. 1 minute, she scolds me for lacking ambition. The next, she blocks me. And then she turns around and swipes my card? Besides, with her usual spending habits, she would never go to a store like Hailan Home. I stared at the branch address in the text message and drove straight there. I wanted to see exactly what this highly ambitious woman was up to. As soon as I walked into the mall, A dense swarm of bullet comments floated in front of my eyes again. The snitching plot is about to start. The male supporting character is going to get jealous over the female lead soon. At the end of the day, the male supporting character is just a useless nouveau riche. He relies on his money, but doesn't really care about the female lead. Only when he finds out the female lead is with someone else will he realize her true place in his heart. To show off in front of the female lead, he'll take out all his money to fund her startup. Once the female lead makes it big, she won't even spare him a glance. Looking at it this way, the male lead and female lead are a perfect match. The male lead is ambitious, and the female lead is assertive. They complement each other perfectly. Aside from having some money, the male supporting character is basically useless. So the female lead is smart after all. No matter how much money the male supporting character spends on her, it's still not hers. Once she starts her company, she'll bleed the male supporting character dry, bit by bit, and then kick him to the curb. Just thinking about the scene where the male supporting character kneels on the ground, begging the female lead not to leave, is so satisfying. The foot I just lifted froze right in mid-air. Good Lord, what kind of messed up female-oriented novel did I transmigrate into? According to the bullet comments, I'm just a tool of a male supporting character in this story. The whole point of my existence is to give money to the female lead, paving the way for her to become a CEO, a general manager, and reach the peak of her life. And, along the way, using my idiotic moves to make the male and female leads look like absolute geniuses. As for me, I'd still be clinging to her even after she makes it big, crying and begging her not to leave, pleading with her to marry me. But by then, she wouldn't even spare me a single glance. In the end, utterly heartbroken, I'd get hit by a truck while crossing the street and spend the rest of my miserable life bedridden in a hospital. Just how brain dead would I have to be to end up like that? It's true that I like Sunyaru, but from the very beginning, I never once thought about marrying her. I'm not an idiot. If she just behaved and stayed by my side, I'd gladly spend money on her. I spend money for peace and quiet, not to bring home a demanding princess. If she keeps making a fuss like this, breaking up is only a matter of time. I was strolling casually through the mall when I suddenly heard Sunyaru's voice coming from the snack shop next door.
I can spend my money on whoever I want? You talk too much.
I didn't rush over. Instead, I stood to the side and watched them through the crowd. Two people were standing at the entrance of the snack shop, waiting for their tanghulu. One was Sunyaru. The other girl was wearing a cartoon print outfit. Her features looked somewhat similar to Sunyaru's, but she was obviously much younger. She had a petite figure and a delicate face, and even her voice was soft and sweet.
Sis, is this really fair to Fang Yuan? He loves you so much, yet you're buying clothes for another man behind his back.
What do you know? He's almost 30 and hasn't achieved a thing. He has zero ambition. You'll understand when you're my age. Besides, I already broke up with him.
Unbelievable. She's swiping my card while calling me a loser. The girl next to her was Sunyaru's younger sister, Yao Shi. I'd met her a few times before. The last time I saw her, she was only a freshman in high school. Doing the math, she should be a college freshman by now. It had been over 2 years, and the little girl I remembered had really blossomed. Her eyes were sparkling, and she gave off this indescribable, vibrant energy. My heart skipped a beat. Was this what a crush felt like? The vibe Yaoshi gave me was completely different from Sunyaru's. Young, pure, youthful, and innocent. Yaoshi took the candied hawthorn stick and took a bite.
I don't think so. I think Brother Fang Yuan treats you really well. He buys you whatever you want, gives you so much money, and even has time to spend with you. Isn't that great?
Sunyaru let out a cold snort.
What's so great about that? He just lies around at home all day like a dead man. If you want him so much, you can have him. He's nowhere near as gentle and considerate as Guzhou. Plus, Guzhou is so driven, he works 3 jobs a day. Now that's what a real man should be like.
Yaoshi gave her a speechless look.
Aren't you afraid Brother Fang Yuan will actually give up on you? When he ignores you, don't regret it later.
But Sunyaru couldn't care less.
He can't live without me. Whenever I block him for a few days, doesn't he always search everywhere for me? This time I'll block him for a few extra days. It's the perfect chance to hang out with Guzhou, and it'll teach Fang Yuan a good lesson.
I can't really blame Sun Yaru for being so confident. We had been dating for 5 years. For the past 5 years, I tolerated her almost unconditionally. Even after getting rich, I catered to her every whim. After all, she was my first love. But you get tired of eating the same dish for too long. Not to mention, looking at it now, this dish is practically glowing green with infidelity. I've heard the name Guzhou before. He's the boyfriend of Sun Yaru's best friend. This relationship is so messed up, it's practically dragging my worldview through the mud. I thought this was crazy enough, but little did I know, it could get even crazier. Suddenly, my phone buzzed. A rabbit avatar popped up on the screen. It was a message from Yao Xi.
Brother Fang Yuan, my sister is a bad woman, just ignore her. Let me be your girlfriend, okay?
I stared at the message, lost in thought for a moment. Then, I replied with a single word. Okay. The bullet comments instantly blew up. This plot isn't right. After the sister snitched, shouldn't the male supporting character righteously reject her? The chasing the wife plot is supposed to be next. He's just playing hard to get, right? Getting close to the female lead's sister on purpose, just to make the female lead care about him again. I gotta say, this male supporting character actually has some brains, pulling these little stunts, but his heart is clearly still set on the female lead. So boring. When are we getting some spicy scenes between the male and female leads? Stories these days are way too tame. Soon, the male and female leads are spending the night together this weekend. She seemed surprised that I actually agreed. Yao Xi, who had been listless just a moment ago, instantly sat up straight. Staring at her phone, an unreadable smile crept onto her face, and the tips of her ears quietly turned red. Sun Yaru noticed her reaction and glanced at her phone. Just then, my profile picture flashed on the screen. Yao Xi immediately locked the screen, looking like a student caught red-handed. But Sun Yaru didn't suspect a thing.
Is Fang Yuan looking for me? I blocked him everywhere, but at least he has the brains to ask you. Is he super anxious right now? Is he hoping I'll add him back? Just tell him you don't know where I am. Let him sweat it out a bit longer. It'll teach him a lesson.
Yao Xi nodded obediently. She opened her phone and saw the new message I just sent. I'm right behind you. Yao Xi immediately looked around and soon spotted me nearby. Meeting my eyes, her lips curled into a slight smile. Then, she casually adjusted her posture, pulling her skirt up a bit to reveal a flash of dazzlingly white legs. My eyes caught the sight, and my heart skipped a beat. I never expected that beneath Yao Xi's innocent exterior, there was such a contrasting side to her. The next second, she sent me 2 more emojis, one shushing and one giggling face. Sun Yaru was still urging her from the side.
Did you tell him? Whatever you do, don't let him know you saw me. I have to go. I'm meeting Guzhou later.
Later, after chatting with Yao Xi, I found out the truth. Sun Yaru had already hooked up with Guzhou half a year ago. Not only did she buy things for Guzhou, she even fronted the startup money for his street stall. And the money she spent, it was all swiped from my card. Unbelievable. Using my money to keep another man, and still having the nerve to call me unmotivated. That evening, the dining table was filled with a whole spread of seafood. Looking at that table of food, my brows slowly furrowed. I called Auntie Wang over. Why is it all seafood? Didn't I say at noon that we're having beef for dinner? Auntie Wang stood to the side, sounding completely unbothered.
These are all Miss Sun's favorites. She specifically told me to make more of them lately. What's wrong? I think it's fine. Food is food, right?
Auntie Wang kept chattering in my ear. She completely failed to notice that my expression had already turned cold. I suddenly realized I'd been way too nice. So nice that these people had forgotten who was actually paying her salary. I raised my hand and called over my bodyguard and driver, Uncle Lu. Then, I tossed the keys to the Land Rover. I always let Sun Yaru drive straight into his hands. Go get my car back. Uncle Lu froze for a moment, a look of surprise clearly flashing across his face.
Mr. Fang, hasn't Miss Sun always driven this car? If I take it back now, and she asks about it, what should I say?
Sun Yaru and I had been together for 5 years. The staff at home had long treated her as the lady of the house. Whatever they did, they always catered to her moods first. But things were different now. Since she had already asked for a breakup, we had nothing to do with each other anymore. Taking my own car back was perfectly justified. My face darkened. Am I your employer, or is this Miss Sun your employer? Uncle Lu's expression changed, and he immediately lowered his head.
You are the employer.
Then that settles it. Let me make myself clear today. Since I'm the one who hired you, you do exactly as I say. As for Miss Sun or Miss Zhang, whatever they say, just ignore it. Any questions?
No.
Uncle Lu didn't dare to ask anything else. He turned around and left. Auntie Wang, standing to the side, finally sensed the tension in the air. Today, I was no longer the easygoing Fang Yuan of the past. I turned to look at her. Did you hear that clearly too? If you didn't, you can pack your bags and leave right now. Terrified, Auntie Wang nodded repeatedly.
Yes. Yes.
She then asked cautiously.
Then, about the beef.
No need. I don't eat beef. The bullet comments instantly exploded with a barrage of curses. Huh. So this is the male supporting character. So petty. No wonder the female lead doesn't like him. Exactly. He really thinks he's something, complaining about this and that. So disgusting. The female lead still needs the car this weekend. Without it, where am I supposed to read the smut inside? This male supporting character is so annoying. He must be super ugly. I couldn't be bothered with these bullet comments. I lost my appetite, so I just took a few bites and put down my chopsticks. After that, I had someone start clearing out the things Sun Yaru had bought. Since we had already broken up, there was no need to keep her stuff at my place anymore. An inventory list was quickly put together. Louis Vuitton clothes, 90 pieces. Gucci bags, Sexton. Chanel bags, Fjorten. Cannes Cartier bracelet, 4 Rolex watches. The list went on, and the more I looked at it, the more it stung. Honestly, even selling this stuff secondhand would gross me out. The bullet comments that were just cursing me out suddenly went mostly quiet. How much is all this worth? I admit I was a bit too loud just now. Looking at him now, the male supporting character is actually pretty handsome. Mommy, I don't want to read smut anymore. Someone just give me some money. Not long after, Uncle Lu called.
The car was tracked to the Bulgari hotel and is already been picked up.
Hearing this, I couldn't help but sneer. She sure knows how to live it up. When I travel, I only stay in hotels that cost 400 or 500 a night. But she stays at the Bulgari hotel whenever she feels like it. That reminded me. I immediately called the bank to freeze the supplementary card I gave her. Just as I hung up, my phone lit up again. They were photos from Yaosi. In the photos, she had changed into several different outfits, striking various poses. Right after that, she sent another message.
Do I look good? What else do you want to see? I've got more.
I couldn't help but clear my throat. Are you trying to test my willpower with this? Do I look like that kind of guy? A second later, I hit save without batting an eye. Then, without blushing or skipping a beat, I replied, "Show me your legs." Meanwhile, Sun Yaru was in an exceptionally good mood today. She had always felt that her best friend didn't deserve Guzhou at all. Guzhou had the looks. As for education and money, in her eyes, his good looks made up for everything. Besides, she wasn't exactly short on cash. She was used to tipping those male live streamers generously. But no matter how much they tried to please her, nothing beat the thrill of being with her best friend's boyfriend. More importantly, with Guzhou, she actually felt needed. This feeling was completely different from when she was with me. She had even planned out her future. She wanted to be a powerful career woman. And behind every powerful woman, there should be a handsome guy supporting her. Soon, Sun Yaru walked into the lobby of the Bulgari hotel, arm in arm with Guzhou. They had already done enough flirting in the car. What happened next was only natural. Guzhou looked around the hotel lobby, his steps a bit hesitant.
It's pretty expensive here, isn't it?
Judging from how Sun Yaru usually spent money, He knew she was rich, but actually walking into a place like this still made him a bit intimidated. Sunyaru, however, looked completely unbothered.
It's all right, 12,000 a night. There are better ones, but I don't think it's necessary.
The words 12,000 hit Guzhou like a ton of bricks, freezing him in his tracks. He'd have to run his stall for who knows how long, just to afford a single night here. Seeing his reaction, Sunyaru felt a secret thrill of satisfaction. That feeling of being looked up to was exactly what she wanted.
Don't worry about it. I'll pay. Tomorrow, put on the clothes I bought you. We're going on a trip for a few days.
Hearing about the trip, a smile immediately lit up Guzhou's face. In his whole life, the farthest he had ever traveled was just to the city. It wasn't that he didn't envy the so-called poetry and distant lands he saw online, but in reality, he just didn't have the money. The bullet comments started popping up again. Forget about poetry and distant lands, your car is gone, and your clothes are still in it. The male supporting character is truly disgusting. All he does is cause trouble for the female lead. But the female lead herself isn't exactly doing the right thing either, is she? What's wrong with that? Men are just the spice of life. A strong, independent woman should have plenty of handsome guys around her. Sunyaru had no idea what was going on. She took out the supplementary card I gave her, ready to pay. After swiping the card, the receptionist's expression turned a bit awkward. A moment later, the receptionist handed the card back.
Sorry, ma'am, but this card has been frozen. Please use another payment method.
While I was still playfully teasing Yaoxi and checking out her legs, my phone suddenly rang. The moment I answered, Sunyaru's voice exploded through the phone.
Fang Yuan, are you out of your mind? Why did you freeze my card?
I sneered inwardly. So now that she's out of money, she finally remembers to take me off her blacklist? Only now does she finally think of me. And what does she mean by her card? It's a supplementary card I gave her. Since when did it become hers? I looked at the unknown number and asked deliberately, "Who is this?" The other end of the line instantly went dead silent. After a long pause, she finally spoke through gritted teeth, enunciating every single syllable.
Son, Yaru.
Her tone made it sound like just saying her own name was a huge grievance. I smiled, acting as if I had just realized who it was. "Oh, son Yaru, do you need something?" The other end fell silent again. After quite a while, she finally repeated what she had just said. I laughed. "Didn't we break up? Since we broke up, there's no need for me to spend money on you anymore, right?" After all, Sunyaru was the one who initiated the breakup. But asking her to swallow her pride now and admit she didn't want to break up, that she was just playing games, she couldn't afford to lose face like that. But making her pay 12,000 out of her own pocket for a single night at a hotel, that was even more impossible. On the other end of the line, Sunyaru completely lost her cool.
Fang Yuan, I was originally going to give you a chance to win me back, but your behavior right now is just so disappointing. Let me tell you, even if you beg me to come back later, I won't even give you a second glance.
With that, she just hung up the phone. The bullet comments immediately started rolling in. Yes, exactly. Let him take her for granted. Once he truly loses the female lead, he'll go crazy trying to win her back. Go ahead and mistreat the female lead now. You'll suffer later when you start chasing the wife. Looking at these bullet comments, I was full of question marks. When did I ever mistreat the female lead? And besides, why would I even chase her? Is my little cream cake not delicious? Answer me. Look me in the eyes and answer me. This is just baffling. I drove to the school and picked up Yaoxi. Once in the car, she sat in the passenger seat, looking incredibly tense. She was full of dirty talk and acted completely wild on the chat app. Yet face to face, she didn't even dare to say a word.
What are we doing tonight?
She asked quietly. You. The moment I said that, Yaoxi blushed all the way down to her neck.
I didn't mean it like that.
Then what did you mean? Don't tell me you expect me to just drop you back at school after dinner. Watching her act all coy, I smiled and pulled the car over. If you want to head back right after we eat, you can get out right now.
No, I don't.
Yaoxi leaned in against me, her eyes glistening. She whispered in my ear, her voice meltingly soft.
Later, you'll have to take off my teddy bear panties yourself.
Feeling her warm breath on my ear, I almost lost control right then and there. This damn contrast was absolutely lethal. I quickly pushed down those thoughts. Let's go eat first. I'll eat you after dinner. The bullet comments started getting excited again, looking forward to the smut scenes. Holding up a sign. Is smut the only thing on your mind? What about the female lead? Where does she go now that she can't stay at the hotel? Of course, Sunyaru couldn't afford a hotel that costs 12,000 a night. She originally had a bit of savings, but over the past 2 months, she had spent almost all of it helping Gujo set up his street stall. In the end, she had no choice but to leave the hotel with Gujo in disgrace.
I do think it's too expensive. Not really worth it. Let's head home first. I need to grab some things.
Sunyaru didn't panic too much when her supplementary card was frozen. She was already planning in her head to sell off those luxury goods once she got back. But as soon as she walked out of the hotel, she realized the car was gone too. When Sunyaru called me, I was at the hotel with Yaoshi.
Fang Yuan, what's the meaning of this? Why did you drive the car away?
Drove my own car away. Is there a problem?
You drove the car away, so what am I supposed to do?
I couldn't be bothered to answer. Seeing me stay silent, she was the one who couldn't hold back anymore.
Fang Yuan, what are you doing?
Just working out. If that's all, I'm hanging up. Actually, I didn't have to answer that call at all, but I suddenly felt a bit wicked and wanted to tease Yaoshi. It worked like a charm. Yaoshi was so shy, she covered her face with a pillow, refusing to let me look at her. Meanwhile, after the call ended, Sunyaru stood there stunned. Fang Yuan actually hung up on her first. He was never like this before. But on the phone just now, he was definitely panting hard. He said he was working out, so he probably wasn't lying to her. So, to him, she wasn't even as important as working out anymore. Sunyaru suddenly felt an inexplicable pang of hurt. But with Gujo right beside her, she had to force her emotions down.
Oh, one of my friends took my car. I guess I'm just too nice to them. They didn't even tell me before taking it.
She had to make up a random excuse to cover it up. A hint of suspicion flashed through Gujo's mind. But Sunyaru had indeed spent a lot of money on him over the past few months, so he couldn't really say much. The two of them had no choice but to take a taxi to my place. The driver was a chatty guy, and he struck up a conversation shortly after they got in.
Young lady, is your home in the West District?
Gujo didn't know how to answer, so he just looked at Sunyaru. Sunyaru was already feeling annoyed, so she just gave a dismissive The driver didn't feel awkward at all and kept chatting casually.
Only rich people live in the West District. It's all luxury villas over there.
Hearing this, Gujo's face lit up. His earlier gloominess vanished in an instant. He even cursed himself inwardly for doubting Sunyaru earlier, feeling like an absolute jerk. After they got out of the car, a luxury villa neighborhood was indeed right in front of them. Gujo immediately pulled out his phone, ready to snap a few photos. But just as he opened his camera, a security guard walked right up to them.
Sorry, sir. This is a private villa estate. Photography is not allowed.
Gujo was instantly annoyed.
The homeowner is right here. I'm her friend and I can't even take a photo? What kind of rule is this? Believe it or not, I'll file a complaint against you.
Sunyaru's expression also turned grim. She had just tried to swipe her access card, only to find it wasn't working anymore. The security guard remained professionally polite.
Alright, sir. If she is the homeowner, please swipe the card to enter.
Gujo pulled Sunyaru, ready to march right in. But Sunyaru just stood there, not moving an inch. Not long after, Sunyaru called me again. Honestly, it was a real buzzkill. I just blocked her straight away. A little while later, Yaoshi's phone rang. I glanced at the caller ID, Sunyaru. Yaoshi was about to hang up, but a wicked idea popped into my head. I snatched the phone and hit answer.
Yaoshi, has Fang Yuan reached out to you lately?
Yaoshi's voice came out in broken gasps.
Yeah, he has.
I knew it. He really is playing hard to get. Pretending he doesn't care, but secretly asking about me behind my back, right?
Yaoshi could barely speak, only managing a few muffled responses.
Yeah.
On the other end of the line, Sunyaru finally sensed something was off.
Yaosi, what are you doing? Why are you panting so hard?
I'm working out.
Sunyaru didn't think twice about it and just kept complaining on her end.
Tell Fang Yuan tomorrow that I'll be going to Sucheng Center. Or better yet, just go find him and bring him there. I'll bring Guzhou along too, just to rile him up. He's really going too far lately, even daring to ignore my calls.
She rambled on for ages, pouring out all her grievances about me. She didn't stop until it suddenly went quiet on this end of the line. It felt like someone had hit the pause button on the air. I stopped moving too. Yaosi panicked and blurted out,
Sanyaru, hurry up and say something. It's not moving anymore.
What's not moving?
Realizing her slip-up, Yaosi quickly tried to cover it up.
The treadmill's not moving.
Sunyaru thought it was weird, but didn't read too much into it.
Remember what I said. Make sure you bring Fang Yuan over tomorrow.
After giving her instructions, she hung up the phone, sounding completely bored. But even after hanging up, she still had a nagging feeling that something was off. After all the action, Yaoshi curled up in my arms like a koala. She buried her face in my chest, her voice soft and breathy.
You're so bad.
She paused for a second, then softly added,
But I love it.
The next day, at Sucheng Center, Yaoshi linked her arm with mine as we strolled through the mall. We hadn't walked far when we bumped right into Sunyaru and Guzhou. The two of them were sticking so close together, like they were glued to each other. The moment Sunyaru saw me, a look of relief instantly washed over her face. She even gave Yaoshi a casual nod. Obviously, she thought Yaoshi was the one who brought me here. As for the fact that Yaoshi was holding my arm, she didn't find it the least bit suspicious. Sunyaru stepped in front of me, lifting her chin proudly.
I thought you weren't even answering my calls. What? You found out I was shopping with someone else? So you came rushing over? Let me tell you, it's too late. Don't think I'll forgive you just because you came looking for me.
I just found it ridiculous. Her little one-woman show made her look like a pathetic clown. I had zero interest in even acknowledging her. Seeing my silence, Sunyaru only got more worked up.
Why aren't you saying anything? Did I hit the nail on the head and shatter your pathetic little ego?
I couldn't be bothered with her, so I turned around and walked toward the Coach store nearby. I originally just wanted to buy a few bags for Yaoshi, but before I could take 2 steps, Sunyaru blocked my way again.
What, trying to buy a bag to win me over? Don't you know I hate Coach the most? Have you ever seen me buy this brand? Fang Yuan, we've been together for 5 years, and you don't even know what I like. I'm honestly so disappointed in you.
Standing off to the side, Guzhou was completely dumbfounded. Why was Sunyaru, who was just being all lovey-dovey with him a moment ago, suddenly tangling with another guy? He had heard his girlfriend mention the name Fang Yuan before. That was Sunyaru's boyfriend. Panic suddenly gripped Guzhou. Was he just a pawn in their little relationship game? Seeing the uneasy look on Guzhou's face, Sunyaru quickly turned around to reassure him.
I'm here today to keep my brother Gu company. Fang Yuan, I suggest you know what's good for you and stop bothering us. Also, brother Gu needs some clothes. Go buy him a few outfits, and I might just forgive you for ignoring my calls earlier.
Hearing Sunyaru demand that I buy things for him, Guzhou felt a wave of warmth in his heart. His earlier anxiety vanished instantly. He even started to blame himself.
Damn it, how could I ever doubt Sanyaru's feelings for me?
I looked at Sunyaru, feeling like she was a leech I just couldn't shake off. Sunyaru, haven't we already broken up? What makes you think I'm here for you? What exactly do you have to offer? Do you think not having you around stops me from enjoying my life? Sunyaru was left speechless, frozen in place. A moment later, as if she had suddenly figured something out, that confident look returned to her face.
You're just trying to make me mad on purpose, aren't you? Well, sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not angry at all. You're just playing hard to get. I'm not falling for it. Don't come crying to me when you regret this later.
The bullet comments were flooded with ellipses at this point. Why do I feel like the female lead is giving off some seriously delusional and off-putting vibes? Agreed, she's got way too much inner drama going on. You can't even imagine how happy the male supporting character is without the female lead around. Before leaving, Sunyaru even grabbed Yaoshi's hand.
Feng Yuan just cares too much about his pride. He still can't let go of his ego in front of me. I shouldn't push him too hard. Help me keep an eye on him.
Yao Shi looked at her with a weird expression. She never noticed it before, but now she just found this older sister to be terrifyingly weird. Seeing her absent-minded, Sun Yaru showed a rare moment of concern.
How have you been lately?
Yao Shi rolled her eyes at her, sounding rather annoyed.
Pretty miserable.
With that, she couldn't be bothered to deal with Sun Yaru anymore and just followed me. But Sun Yaru was still reassuring herself.
Even though she seems impatient, she still listens to me. With someone keeping an eye on Feng Yuan, I can rest easy.
After that, I booked 2 cruise tickets, a 15-day trip at sea and in Sakura country. I took Yao Shi straight on a honeymoon. While we were having a sweet time, the mood on Sun Yaru's end hit rock bottom. Her money was almost running out. She used to eat at nice restaurants, but now she could only make do sitting in a Shaxian snacks. Gu Zhou stared at the bowl of fragrant tossed noodles in front of him, lost in thought. He had hooked up with Sun Yaru behind his girlfriend's back, and at the end of the day, it was all for her money. Between the luxury cars and the money she gave him to start a street stall, he really thought he had bagged a wealthy heiress. But the past few days finally made him realize that something was off. All those things probably didn't even belong to Sun Yaru. They belonged to her ex-boyfriend, Fang Yuan. When she was with Fang Yuan, she had money to throw at him. Now that they had broken up, she was nothing but a burden. Gu Zhou quickly made up his mind. He was going to cut ties at the speed of light.
Yaru, I'm sorry. I feel like I just can't get past my own conscience. I can't do anything to betray Wen.
Wen, by the way, was Sun Yaru's best friend. After saying that, Gu Zhou squeezed out a few tears, putting on a show of deep affection.
This meal is on me. Consider it our farewell dinner. Let's part on good terms, so eat up.
He turned and yelled to the owner, his voice so loud you'd think he was buying out the whole place.
Boss, how much is it in total?
The owner glanced at the table.
2 bowls of fragrant tossed noodles plus 1 egg. 15 yuan in total.
Gu Zhou, however, pulled out 2 10-yuan bills and slapped them onto the table.
Add 2 more eggs. If you don't have change, just keep it.
The bullet comments instantly died laughing. If you didn't know better, you'd think he was treating her to a royal feast, but the total was only 15 yuan. Wait, the plot shouldn't go like this, right? Aren't the male and female leads supposed to support each other and grow together? How could a guy who sneaks around behind his girlfriend's back be any good? When he has money, he sucks up to the female lead. When he's broke, he cuts ties in a heartbeat. We all know what's going on. Boring. I'm out. Sun Yaru finally regretted it. Her wallet was completely empty, and her credit card payment was almost due. She sent out hundreds of resumes, but heard absolutely nothing back. Left with no choice, she worked a daily paid job for a day. Waking up the next day, she was sore all over, feeling like her body had been completely dismantled. She never wanted to do it again. Later, she tried setting up a stall, making a few sandwiches to sell. But all morning, she only managed to sell 2. Only then did she truly understand making money was actually this hard. She went to look for Gu Zhou again, but Gu Zhou completely ignored her. Furious, Sun Yaru cursed him for being ungrateful right in front of her best friend. In a fit of rage, she spilled everything about their secret affair. As a result, she got slapped hard a few times by her best friend. The moment she hit the ground, Sun Yaru really panicked. She shouldn't have broken up with Feng Yuan. The thought of me reignited a glimmer of hope in her eyes. She figured I must still have feelings for her. As long as she swallowed her pride and apologized, I would definitely be so moved that I'd forgive her instantly. That way, she could naturally use it as a way out to save face. So, Sun Yaru staked out the gate of my villa community for over 10 days straight. But she didn't catch a single glimpse of me. After all, I had already gone on a trip by then. Until one day, she finally spotted my car. She immediately rushed over, blocked the car, and pounded on the window. I had no choice but to roll down the window.
Feng Yuan, let's get back together. I only said those angry words because I cared about you too much. I never actually wanted to break up. I don't need you to start a business anymore. Let's just live a good life together, just the two of us.
He scoffed. Anything else? If not, get out of my way so I can go home. Sunyaru, we are completely over. Don't ever come looking for me again. Sunyaru's face was filled with disbelief.
Impossible. You must be lying to me.
I looked at her, my voice cold and completely flat. What exactly gave you the delusion that I still want to be with you? She snapped her gaze to the passenger seat. Yaoxi was sitting right there.
If you don't like me, why are you still keeping my sister around? Aren't you just trying to use her to check up on me?
Yaoxi looked completely speechless. She leaned over and planted a kiss right on my cheek.
Fang Yuan, let's go. Just ignore this crazy woman.
Sunyaru's eyes widened instantly. In that moment, it finally dawned on her.
You too.
The look on her face was absolutely priceless. The next second, she stumbled back a few steps and slumped right onto the ground.
Why? How could this happen?
But soon, she scrambled back up with a twisted face and started pounding frantically on the car window.
You're cheating. This is betrayal. You'll both rot in hell.
Yaoxi scoffed coldly.
You were the one who broke up with Fang Yuan. I'm no homewrecker. As for you, besides Guzhou, there are also those streamers. Did you really think Fang Yuan didn't know? I told him everything while we were in bed.
Sunyaru's face instantly drained of color. She simply couldn't believe things had turned out this way. All she could do was beg, over and over again.
Fang Yuan, I was wrong. I was so wrong. Please, can you forgive me?
But I couldn't even be bothered to give her a second glance. After that, Sunyaru came looking for me a few more times, but I refused to see her. That was until one day, when Yaoxi was sitting on my lap and showed me a social media post on her phone. Sunyaru had posted a photo of an acceptance letter from a streaming agency right next to a plane ticket to Myanmar. The caption read,
Today you ignore me, but tomorrow I'll be completely out of your league.
I just chuckled after reading it. Let's just hope she actually makes it out of my league.